17 in the second. Clark, catch and shoots. Big triple.
Bucket. ATO. Big timeout for the Fever.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. White has done it again. Every single game, it's always something that leaves me shaking my head. The Fever picked up the win against the Connecticut Sun, and yes, a win is a win. But I'm looking at the bigger picture here. What stood out to me more than anything was that motion offense. The more I watch it, the more convinced I become that this offense is designed specifically for Kelsey Mitchell. Everything seems to flow in a way that benefits Kelsey Mitchell, and it's becoming more obvious every game. Now, don't get me wrong, the Fever won this game 85-75. They got the double-digit victory that I said I wanted to see. But just because they won by 10 doesn't mean I'm sitting here celebrating. This wasn't some dominant performance that makes me feel great about where this team is headed. This was a game they were expected to win against the Connecticut Sun, and they handled business. That's all. The final score was 85-75, and Caitlin Clark once again came through with some huge buckets when the team needed them. It feels like every game, Caitlin Clark finds a way to make an impact regardless of what is going on around her. Despite all the criticism and despite what I believe has been poor decision-making by Stephanie White at times, Caitlin Clark continues to produce. Looking at the numbers, the Fever shot 49% from the field and 41% from three-point range. Those are solid numbers. The offense had its moments, but the game wasn't without frustration. The referees were definitely making things difficult, especially in the second half. Some of those calls had fans scratching their heads. Then we get to the part of the game that bothered me the most: the turnovers. I've been talking about turnovers all season long, and once again, they showed up. The Fever finished with 19 turnovers. 19! Meanwhile, the Connecticut Sun only had 9. That's a massive difference. Against stronger teams, that kind of mistake count can cost you games. Another issue was the rebounding. The Indiana Fever did a decent job in some areas, but they still allowed 26 offensive rebounds. It seems like every time they fix one problem, another one appears. One bright spot was Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham returned and immediately made her presence felt. She finished with 11 points and brought energy to the floor. What's funny is people were talking about Sophie Cunningham's elbow injury, and now she's back out there getting buckets like nothing happened. Sophie Cunningham stepped up and gave the Fever a boost when they needed it.
Yeah, Sophie. She has 11 points for Indiana. Sophie Cunningham came into this game ready to play, and you could see it from the moment she stepped onto the floor. She looked aggressive, confident, and willing to contribute in whatever way the team needed. Let's head back over here and check out the box score, because there are definitely some numbers worth talking about. Let's see how Caitlin Clark did. Going into the closing moments, she was sitting at 19 points. Then she finished the night with 25 points. That's a strong performance, no matter how you slice it. Caitlin Clark went 10 of 17 from the field and 5 of 10 from three-point range. That's 50% shooting from beyond the arc. She also added 5 assists, 3 rebounds, and 6 turnovers. Now, the turnovers are something that stand out. I'm telling you right now, Caitlin Clark is probably going to average around 5 turnovers because the ball is in her hands so much, and she's constantly trying to create opportunities. Now let's talk about Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell finished with 19 points, but she shot 2 of 9 from 3. That's another rough shooting night from deep. And this is where my frustration comes in. I keep watching this offense, and the more I watch it, the more convinced I become that this entire system is built around Kelsey Mitchell. Everything seems designed to get Kelsey Mitchell involved, and I just don't understand why they're leaning so heavily into it. To me, this team does not look fully committed to building around Caitlin Clark. You can disagree if you want, but that's how it looks from where I'm sitting. If the goal is to maximize Caitlin Clark, then why bring back an offense that constantly takes the ball out of her hands? Why move away from the things that clearly work? That's the question I keep asking. Caitlin Clark finished with a plus 15 plus-minus and played 36 minutes. Those are excellent numbers. Once again, she put together what looks like another MVP-level performance. Despite all the criticism surrounding the coaching decisions, despite all the debates involving Stephanie White, Caitlin Clark keeps producing. every game she finds a way to impact winning.
It's Caitlin Clark and Layla kind of a little physical. It looks like Caitlin Clark is bleeding. Is that blood? Look at that, chat. Their arms got tangled. It kind of looked like Caitlin Clark was bleeding though, right? I don't know. Y'all let me know.
Those folks were active throughout the game, although they slowed down a little bit during the fourth quarter. They were probably locked in watching, because this was not a game the Fever could afford to lose against the Connecticut Sun. One moment that stood out was when Aliyah Boston missed another short shot around the basket. Plays like that happen, but they become more noticeable in games where the offense already feels clunky. And that's really my biggest issue with what we watched tonight. The motion offense was driving me crazy. Pass, 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 swing the ball around, more passing, then eventually somebody takes a shot. It felt repetitive all night long. There were stretches where it seemed like nobody wanted to attack immediately. Instead, the ball just kept moving around the perimeter. I saw somebody post, "Watch the fourth quarter. Stephanie White and Kelsey Mitchell will make sure CC doesn't finish the game as the leading scorer." Well, Caitlin Clark ended up finishing as the leading scorer anyway, so that prediction didn't exactly hold up. Shout out to Coach Anderson as well. Coach Anderson always seems to have an interesting perspective. One comment that caught my attention was the idea that Stephanie White saw AB and CC dominate in the two-player action and decided to move away from it. Whether that's true or not, I understand why fans are frustrated. When something works, people naturally want to see more of it. Another fan described Stephanie White's motion offense as the basketball version of melatonin. That's a wild comparison, but I understand what they're trying to say. The offense simply wasn't exciting to watch. It lacked rhythm. It lacked energy. It felt like pass, pass, shoot for long stretches of the game. Now, look, the Fever still got the win. They handled business and beat the Connecticut Sun. For a lot of fans, that's enough. And if you're happy with the victory, that's completely fine. But personally, I wanted more. I wanted to see a convincing win by 15 points or more. Maybe my expectations are too high, but that's where I'm at. The officiating also remains a talking point. I saw a comment that said, CC gets bumped, grabbed, shoved, and hacked all game. A ref sees someone breathe near another player, whistle. Can't make this up. Whether you agree or disagree, a lot of fans feel Caitlin Clark doesn't get the whistle she deserves. Compared to previous seasons, many believe the officiating around Caitlin Clark has been inconsistent. Before wrapping up, let's give some credit to Monique Billings. Monique Billings was excellent. She finished with 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists in 27 minutes. She posted a plus 18 plus-minus and shot 60% from the field. She also went 4 of 4 from the free throw line. That's exactly the type of contribution you want from a role player. At the end of the day, the Fever beat the Connecticut Sun, and that's what they were supposed to do. The win counts the same in the standings no matter how it looks, but I'm still not sold on this motion offense. Tell me what you think. Don't forget, like and subscribe. I really don't get it at all. But there were so many weird moments in this game, like when Caitlin Clark got elbowed in the face by Brittany Griner and they called a defensive foul on Caitlin Clark. Then the next possession, Caitlin Clark runs into Brittany Griner and flops, and it's an offensive foul. Then Caitlin goes and hits a 3 to make the lead bigger. But again, this Indiana Fever team doesn't know how to hold leads. If you're looking here at this game, you can see the Connecticut Sun got it down to just over 50%. The Connecticut Sun had the lead. I think they were 65-64 up with 8 minutes to go. The Indiana Fever were up by like 12 points at one stage. They blew a 10-point lead again. They do it every game. 4 games in a row, the Indiana Fever have been up by 10-plus points and given up the lead. All of them. And the Fever are on a 3-game winning streak. They've been up by 10-plus and given up the lead in all of them. It is a very weird scenario, but a win is a win. That's all we're going to say. A win is a win.